Entrepreneurs, business owners, ministry leaders, I got a question for you. Have you ever struggled with successfully launching a product and or a service? I get it. I'm there with you. I'm going to help you today in part 2 of 5 steps that we're going to help you literally understand on how to launch a successful product and or service. What's going on, everybody? Glenn P. Brooks Jr. here, excited to be back with you for another edition of Bootstrapping Business and Ministry. Now, if you've tuned into the last part of this 3-part series, on episode, I believe that was 46, step 1, we dealt with on that first part. Today, we're gonna hit you with another 2 steps. Guys, steps 2 and 3 are really gonna help you guys understand and dig into this idea of launching successfully a product or service. I'm gonna take you into a live lunch and learn that we did with our MAPS Masterclass. If you want more information on how you can become a part of that, do me a favor, click one of the links in the descriptions below, and there'll be a free discovery session there for you. Q1, we definitely are accepting a few people now, so make sure that you click for more information there. But without further ado, we're gonna get right back into, pick up where we left off last week. We're talking about how to launch a successful product or service, and we're giving you 5 steps. Today, steps 2 and 3. Y'all be good. We'll be back right after this.
Number 2 is why. This is your problem statement. I need you to write this down. My question to you is, have you clearly articulated the prospect's problem using language that they would use? I'm gonna say it again. Have you clearly articulated, when it comes to launching a product and a service, your target client, have you clearly articulated their problem in a language that they would use? So when you go to set up and you do this launch, I need everybody to make sure that you're on mute. I need you to understand that if you're not speaking the language that your target audience or your target client, uses, you'll miss them. You have to sound like that person. So for me, when I speak to a mother of a boy, my language is, are you frustrated with communicating with your son? Do you find yourself trying to figure out, what is he thinking? Does it concern you that when you say something, he doesn't do it the first time? Y'all hear me speaking very specifically? And so at this particular point, she's saying, gets on my nerves, right? I can't stand it. I say one thing to him and it goes in one ear and right out the other, but I say the same thing to my daughter, and I promise you right now, she gets it. You know what fundamentally is going on? You don't know how to communicate, boy. Part of it is not your fault because you're not a boy. There is a specific way that boys or males hear that if you don't communicate in their language, I guarantee you, you will go right over their head every single time. And then I go into a whole litany of questions that you should be asking. And then when that person hears those questions, now I'm setting them up that I've got the answer. I'm setting them up at this particular point because I got to, once you get a person nodding their head on a product launch, buying it is going to be the next step. Number 3, I want you to be concerned about the what. I'm working on this content, guys, because I'm going to be doing a workshop where I'm going to invite people to come in and really sit through all the nuts and bolts. I'm going to share my screen. We'll put up the slides. We'll go into the details. But I really want people to understand that there's a reason why your products or services are being successfully launched or not. And oftentimes it's found in these 5 steps. Number 1, are you clear on your target or ideal client? Number 2, are you clear on your why, the problem statement? What problem are you solving? Ask the question that you know they're thinking. And what you do is that you weave that into your product launch. Number 3, I want you to think about the what. This is product positioning. It's not enough to know the client. It's not enough to understand why or their problems and what you're trying to solve. But now you have to understand the positioning. The question is, are you positioning this product's messaging so that it can connect to the person that you want to you're trying to connect to in a compelling way? How are you positioning your product or your service? I'll give you an example. There is a reason that when I'm writing a book on a particular subject matter, I begin to look for opportunities where I can share the messaging of what that book will be in an environment and in a room where that target client is. Sometimes that may come through a webinar, sometimes that may come through a live, sometimes I may do that as a training, sometimes that may be allowing myself or submitting or accepting an interview opportunity with someone who has a podcast that speaks directly to my target audience. Because what I'm doing there is I'm positioning. This is all in the idea of the launch. If I want someone to take advantage of these services, I got to position myself. This is where I may do a free workshop for a local church. And I may connect with a local pastor and say, hey, do you have women in your congregation who are 35 to 54 years old, who are parenting, who are having struggles and conversations with their sons? You do? Oh, great. Would you allow me to come in and do a free workshop as to how they can better communicate with their sons? I got to ask you a question, guys. Do you think that pastor is saying, absolutely, free? Are you serious right now? Like, why, when can we set that up? And even in these COVID or pandemic situations, that might be a free webinar. That might be a free talk that you can give for your local church, that you're going to invite me as a guest speaker. And the reason why is because I am positioning what I am later going to be launching. Or I may be positioning something and I'm in the middle of a launch. Or I may be positioning for something that I've already launched. Either way, that is my target client, and they did the work of pulling them together for me, and then I helped them by asking, can I speak to them without having to charge you for it? I've eliminated all the excuses. The answer is yes, absolutely. Can you come help us? At that particular point, I've solved my what problem. I am positioning my product or my service so that when I launch it, it is a success.
Now, I hope that helped, guys. Here's what I'm gonna promise you. It is a understanding that you need to come to when it comes to launching products and services successfully. I've had my fair share of failed ones, and I'm not ashamed to put myself out there, but it's in those losses that I've learned lessons. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, we certainly want to do that in the MAPS Masterclass. Do me a favor, click one of the links in the description below. There should be a free discovery session there for you. We would love to connect if we can help you. At the end of the day, here's what I'm gonna promise you guys. You can't get to any place of significance by yourself because we all need some help. Y'all be good. We'll see you on the next episode. For those of you guys who've enjoyed this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe. Do me also a huge favor. Check out one of these videos for more content on bootstrapping business and ministry.